Think school is boring? Think again. From haunted classrooms to punishments that sound fake, but are totally real. Today we're diving into 10 shocking facts about schools around the world that will blow your mind. We're talking schools built on top of graveyards, kids risking their lives just to learn, and punishments that'll make detention seem like a walk in the park. Welcome to Shock Alchemy. Hit that subscribe button, and let's uncover the truths they don't teach you in class. Imagine this. You're late for history class, sprinting down the hallway, and bam! You run right through a ghost? Sounds crazy, right? Well, for students at El Paso High School in Texas, this might be a daily occurrence. They call it the most haunted school in America. And for good reason. This school was built right on top of an old cemetery. They say some of the bodies are still buried there, under the foundation. Students and teachers have reported all sorts of weird stuff. Doors slamming shut on their own, lights flickering, mysterious figures popping up in the background of yearbook photos. Some people even say they've seen full-on ghostly apparitions roaming the halls. Now, I'm not saying I believe in ghosts, but I'm not saying I don't believe either. El Paso High definitely has a creepy vibe. And it's not just because of the homework. Wouldn't you be a little freaked out if you had to go to school on top of a graveyard every day? You guys ever complain about your morning commute? Maybe you missed the bus or you're stuck in traffic. Well, get ready to feel really bad for the kids in the village of Gulu, China. These kids have to climb a freaking mountain every single day just to get to school. We're talking a 2-hour vertical climb up a sheer cliff face using nothing but rickety ladders made of vines and bamboo. One wrong step and it's a long way down. The school itself is super basic. No fancy computers, no interactive whiteboards, just 4 walls, some desks, and a teacher who's beyond dedicated. But here's the thing. These kids aren't complaining. They know that education is their ticket to a better life, and they're willing to risk it all to get there. Okay, you guys are gonna think I'm making this up, but I swear it's true. In North Korea, they have this thing called the banana punishment. So let's say you're a student in North Korea, and you're caught whispering to your friend in class, or maybe you forgot your homework. Normal stuff, right? Well, instead of getting a stern talking to or sent to detention, you get punished with a banana. You have to write a full-on confession of your crime on a banana peel. And I'm not talking about a little scribble, I'm talking a detailed, heartfelt apology, explaining exactly what you did wrong and how you'll never do it again. All of that on a banana peel. And if your handwriting isn't neat enough or your apology isn't sincere enough, you have to start over with a new banana. Once you're done writing your banana peel confession, guess what happens? Another student gets to eat it. That's right, your shame literally gets devoured. Alright, this next one is for all my fellow homework haters out there. Imagine a world where you actually have free time after school. No textbooks weighing you down, no late-night study sessions, just pure, unadulterated freedom. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, in Finland, it's a reality. That's right, in Finland, some schools have completely ditched homework. They're like, go home, kids, play outside, hang out with your friends, explore your interests. Just come back to school tomorrow ready to learn. Finnish students are happier, less stressed, and performing better academically. Picture this. You walk into school, but there are no classrooms. No doors, no walls, no stuffy hallways, just wide open spaces, comfy furniture, and kids collaborating on projects all over the place. This isn't some futuristic sci-fi movie. This is actually happening in schools across New Zealand and Scandinavia. They've adopted this thing called open plan learning, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Learning in an open, flexible environment that's more like a modern office than a traditional school. So, instead of being confined to desks in rows, students can move around freely, work in groups, and basically choose their own adventure when it comes to learning. Surprisingly, it's not chaotic and noisy. Teachers say that the open plan environment actually encourages kids to be more respectful of each other's space and to work together to create a positive learning environment. Deep in the heart of India, there's a school called the School of Self-Education, and it's unlike any school you've ever seen before. Why? Because there are no teachers. Yep, you heard that right. No lesson plans, no homework assignments, no tests to stress over. Just pure, unadulterated freedom to learn whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. At this school, students are encouraged to follow their curiosity, to learn at their own pace, and to take ownership of their education. They have access to all sorts of resources, books, computers, art supplies, you name it, and they're free to explore whatever interests them. If they need help, they can ask each other, or they can consult with mentors who are available to guide them. Students at the School of Self-Education are thriving. They're developing critical thinking skills, problem-solving abilities, and a lifelong love of learning. We've all had those teachers who are a little too strict, right? But in some parts of the world, school rules can have deadly consequences. In 2011, a 14-year-old girl in Zimbabwe was beaten to death by her teacher for being late to school. Let that sink in for a second. A young girl lost her life because she was a few minutes late. This tragic incident sparked outrage and protests, but sadly, it's not an isolated case. Corporal punishment, things like hitting, slapping, or even caning students, is still legal in over 60 countries around the world. Can you believe that? In this day and age, kids are still being physically abused in the name of discipline. Every child deserves to feel safe and respected in the classroom, and no form of violence should ever be tolerated. You know how in most schools there are janitors who clean up after everyone? Well, in Japan, things are a little different. Japanese students are responsible for cleaning their own classrooms, hallways, and even bathrooms. Yep, you heard that right. Forget the textbooks and calculators. In Japan, the broom and dustpan are just as important. Cleaning isn't just seen as a chore in Japan, it's considered an important part of the learning process. It's about teaching kids respect for their school, their belongings, and each other. It's about instilling a sense of responsibility and teamwork from a young age. Japanese schools are known for being incredibly clean and well-maintained, and students take pride in keeping them that way. They understand that it's everyone's responsibility to contribute to a positive and hygienic learning environment. You guys ever complain about having to walk to school in the rain? Well, get ready to feel really bad for the students in some parts of Indonesia. These kids have to cross flooded rivers, navigate treacherous currents, and even swim fully clothed just to get to school. Imagine holding your breath, clutching your books wrapped in plastic bags, and hoping you don't get swept away by the current. That's the reality for these students. But here's the thing. They don't complain. They don't make excuses. They just do what they have to do to get an education. It's a powerful reminder that education is a privilege, not a right, and that there are people all over the world who are willing to overcome incredible obstacles to get it. Have you ever noticed how some modern schools are starting to look less like places of learning and more like prisons? I'm talking about schools with security cameras everywhere, metal detectors at the entrances, and fences topped with razor wire. It's like something out of a dystopian movie. And it's not just the physical appearance of these schools that's concerning, it's the whole atmosphere they create. Students are constantly being watched, their every move is tracked, and they're subjected to searches and security checks just to walk through the door. It's hard to feel inspired and motivated to learn when you feel like you're in a prison. Now, I understand that school safety is incredibly important, especially in light of recent events. But we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? Are we creating a generation of students who are so afraid of the outside world that they're willing to sacrifice their freedom and privacy just to feel safe? It's a tough balance to strike, but one we need to consider carefully. School is supposed to be a place of learning, but clearly there's a darker, stranger side to education that most people never see. From haunted hallways to extreme punishments, these 10 shocking school secrets have shown us that the truth is often stranger than fiction. Which of these facts shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you think this was wild, wait until you see what we've uncovered about ancient secret societies. Subscribe to Shock Alchemy and stay curious, because the truth is always more shocking than fiction.